Hello, this is Nikki from the Written Labs. In this tutorial, we're going to demonstrate how a basic TypeScript class can become an AI agent that can call functions using Agentica. Our example will be our good old ToDoService, a TypeScript class that manages a to-do list. And we're going to show how to enable an LLM to call its methods. So first, let's create a new Agentica project using the Agentica CLI. So open your terminal and let's start running npx Agentica start. This will launch Agentica's interactive setup wizard, and it helps you to quickly scaffold a new Agentica project with some setup choices. So for the project name, I'll go with the to-do agent. And for the package manager, I'll choose PNPM. And for the template, I'll select Node.js with React template so we can test everything easily through a chat interface. For the server port, I'll leave it as it is, 3000. And we won't be using any connectors this tutorial, so I'll just skip this part. And you'll need a large language model API key. So if you're using ChatGPT, you need an OpenAI API key. But for now, I'll just choose no. And we'll set the API key later in the env file manually. And that's it. Yeah, just give it a few seconds, maybe more. And boom, a brand new Agentica project is ready to go. So now that the project folder has been created, let's open it up in our code editor. You'll see two subfolders, client and server. The client folder is a React-based chat application already scaffolded for you to start testing. Let's launch the chat UI first. So head into the client directory and check the package.json file. There's a start script, so let's run pnpm start. And this starts the application on localhost 5173. So open it in your browser and you've got a chat screen. Yay! Yay! Well, it says failed to connect server, which is totally expected. And this is because we haven't started the backend agent yet. So let's jump over to server side to implement our custom ToDoService. So open the server directory in your code editor and let's set up our environment variables first. So click the env file, and in the env file, you can see the OpenAI API key and the port. So go ahead and paste your own OpenAI API key. And remember, never and never share this key with anyone, okay? Be secure all the times. And let's explore the server logic. So the core logic of the AI agent lives in src/index.ts file. In index.ts file, you'll find the boilerplate code that looks something like this. Let's take a look at how the code flows in this file. When index.ts runs, the main function is called first. And inside the main function, you can see that the WebSocket server named server is created. The server will open a server through the WebSocket protocol with its port number and handler. And within the connection handler, we are creating the agent itself. The agent is created by our Agentica class, and this agent uses the ChatGPT model, and the vendor section, it defines the LLM provider. In our case, we are using the OpenAI SDK to initialize an API client, and we are specifying the model as GPT-4o mini. But feel free to choose a different model if you have anything prefer. But we're gonna just stick to GPT-4o mini. And next, we have the controllers array. This is the most important thing, and this is where the tool calling comes in. So here we define which tools the agent is allowed to use. Right now you can see there's an example tool called BBS article service, but we won't need that for our project, so let's just remove it. And you'll also see related files under source/structures and the services directories. So go ahead and delete those files as well to keep things clean. Once the agent is fully configured with the model and controllers, we pass it into Agentica RPC service. So what does this do? The Agentica RPC service acts as a bridge between the agent and the front end. It wraps our agent and connects it to incoming WebSocket clients using remote procedure call. When a new client connects, the server calls a scepter.getDriver method to get a reference to the client-side listener and then passes the both agent and the listener into new Agentica RPC service instance. Finally, a scepter.accept method attaches this connection, allowing the client to send messages to the agent and receive real-time responses, tool call events, and many more. So thanks to this setup, our React Chat UI can talk to the agent, and the agent can respond live, just like a real conversation. All right, now let's try running this server. If you check the README file inside the server directory, it says we need to build it before running it. And before we run the server, let's set the agent's language preferences. When creating the Agentica instance, we can pass a config prop, and by setting the locale, we can control the language the agent responds in. So I'll explicitly set the locale to EN so that it can reply in English. So, all right, let's run the build script first by pnpm run build. And then let's start the server. So pnpm start. The server should be up and running on port 3000. Let's go and check. See, in the chat UI, you no longer see that failed to connect server message. So, all right, now that we got a basic chatbot working, so let's move on and build a real ToDoService agent. Since ToDo is a pretty common example, I've actually prepared the code for you in advance. You're welcome to write it yourself, but if you want to save time, feel free to copy and paste it from the link I provided below. The class is called ToDoService, and inside you'll find all the basic CRUD logic for managing to-do items. Each method is also documented with JS doc comments, so it's easy to understand what each part does. So we're gonna copy this code into a new file and paste it as a services.ts file. And also, don't forget, we also need to create an interface for the to-do item in types.ts file. Now that our ToDoService is ready, all we need to do is connect it to the agent so it can actually use it. So let's head back to the index.ts file and start by importing ToDoService. Earlier, we talked about tool calling, and that all we need to do is add our tools to the controllers array. So let's do that. We're gonna add a new object. First, you need to set the protocol property. The protocol specifies how the agent should communicate with the service. For a local class, the value class is used as the agent will call the class methods directly. Set the protocol to class since we're using the locally defined ToDoService. And for the name field, it can be anything. So I'll just call it to ToDoService. And for the application field, we need to pass in the LLM function schema. But instead of writing a schema manually, we're gonna set Typea handle everything for us. To generate the schema with Typea, we call the Typea.llm.application method. In the first generic parameter, we provide the class type. So in our case, it's gonna be the ToDoService. And for the second parameter, we need to pass the name of the model as a string. So since we're using the ChatGPT, so I'm gonna put ChatGPT for this. So yeah, and finally, we need to define what execute field is. Execute field is where we pass the actual instance of our service. So we'll just call new ToDoService. And that's it, you're done. Since we've made some changes, first I think we need to stop this server and rebuild it and run it again. So I'm gonna run pm build the script again, and then start the server again. So once it's running, head back to the chat UI, and now let's try talking to our brand new To-Do agent. So let's test our To-Do agent. First, I'm gonna add a new To-Do to buy milk. I expect that this would trigger the create method of the ToDoService. All right, the function call was executed successfully, and we can see that a new To-Do item has been added, and its content, it has the buy milk. And we're gonna add another To-Do item, add another To-Do item, and to write a business log. Yes, and also we can see that another To-Do item has been added, write a business log. So let's list all the To-Do items we have right now. So list all the To-Do items. And I expect this will trigger the index function we provided in the ToDoService. And as you can see, it has returned two To-Do items. One is the buying milk, and the other is writing a business log. Great. So let's change the status of the To-Do. Let's say, mark buy milk as done. This would trigger the toggle method and changing the completed status to be done. Yes, I think the function call has been successfully called. Okay, let's just check it out again. List all the To-Do items. And as you can see, so there are two To-Do items like before. Buying milk, it has been completed because we can see yes in the completed section. And for the writing the business log section, you can see the completed status is set to no because we didn't complete it yet. All right, I think the To-Do agent is working well. Awesome. Congratulations. You've just built a simple AI agent powered by Agentica. We hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you found this video helpful, make sure to like this video and subscribe our channel. And if Agentica sparked your interest, drop us a star on GitHub too. So happy hacking! Bye!